Thank you very much, Alet. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, I'm very happy and proud to be standing here, even if remotely. I would have loved to be in the room with you, but I think technology has given us the opportunity to interact, even if we are not physically in the same room. I am very thankful to the core team of Action Track 3, namely our colleagues from Nigeria. And you have heard in the introduction the very good summary and call for contributions from Professor Rashid, to whom I thank. I would also like to thank our colleagues from the Teachers Task Force, while also recognizing the great help and support that we have received from the UN agencies, ILO and UNESCO, who have supported us in these past months in order to build on the concept paper, but also to look through the many very good contributions that we have received, both from countries as well as from stakeholder organizations, NGOs, and so on. I'm going to base my presentation on a short PowerPoint. Let me see if, yes. So in the past 2 months, it hasn't been a long time since we started working on the concept paper, but we have managed to have 2 versions already out. You can find them online. We had 2 excellent global consultations done virtually with around 200 participants each. One in May, one in June, and together with this pre-summit, I think we are gathering enough feedback in order to make sure that our concept paper reflects the transformative actions that we are aiming for, while at the same time taking into account the voice of teachers expressed very eloquently by Education International and other organizations, but also by streamlining our work with other action tracks, which have been very important in making sure that we harmonize our recommendations for transformation towards reaching our common goals, the goals in the agenda for 2030. We have received good inputs to the discussion paper from 15 countries and organizations. And of course, we have been basing our work on existing scholarship and international recommendations, such as the ILO UNESCO recommendation on the status of teachers. Now, when it comes to transformative actions, what does that mean for the Action Track 3? First of all, we have recognized that in many parts of the country, in an increasing number of parts of the world, we need to reach an adequate number of qualified teachers. Teacher shortages are endemic, and they will continue to be so, looking at the demography when it comes to this profession. So this is one of the areas where we need to jointly find the best solutions. Secondly, it's not just about numbers, it's also about teachers who have quality initial and continuous training and professional development opportunities throughout their careers in order to respond to the challenges that societies and the new generations of learners are increasingly posing. Thirdly, we look at the attractiveness of the profession. So in order to attract the best graduates for this essential profession, we need improved status and working conditions of teaching personnel. And last, but certainly not least, we need the leadership skills and the innovation that comes from within the profession, from the side of the teaching personnel. And we need that to be recognized and supported through national policies all over the world. So basically, transforming the education workforce means supporting and empowering teachers and education personnel in order to innovate and transform teaching from within. But I would like to make an addition here. It's clear that we need a bottom-up approach, but political will is essential to transform education, but implementation cannot be only done from the top to the bottom. So we need a balanced approach, and we need a very good conversation between overarching national policies and policies dedicated to the education workforce and to teachers. Now, how to get there? There are three main components that we need to look at. First is teacher policy in a general sense. Second, social dialogue. And third, targeted investment. Now, how do we manage to get this going? For example, at the policy level, we need strengthened national teacher and education personnel policies, preferably within the wider umbrella of overall national policies and strategies, but not done in a sort of closed door fashion, but developed through robust social dialogue. There has been a clear goal which was put forward to have a new social contract when it comes to education, and in that contract, teachers are an essential part. What does that mean in concrete terms, or what should we cover in terms of these strengthened national teacher and educational personnel policies? First of all, professional development, collaborative based work. We need to empower innovation and leadership, and we need to make sure that we take advantage of that in a good sense in terms of mobilizing the leadership skills of the teachers in order to mobilize greater transformation in the system. We need good quality assurance frameworks developed with teachers, professional and working conditions which make the profession attractive. We need diverse entry paths in the profession, but we need to make sure that does not mean an increased precarity of the profession, but just an increased flexibility according to the strengths of the teachers and the needs of the society. We need to look at the teachers' well-being and the way in which we support them in the work that they do. Of course, we need to look at digital transformations and how do we increase digital competences and skills, while making sure that we treasure freedom of association and support collective bargaining, which leads to strengthened social and policy dialogue. Now, in this sense, we have proposed also a global initiative on national teacher policies. We have good starting points for this. For example, the National Teacher Initiative, NTI, and the work done by the International Task Force on Teachers for Education 2030, the TTF, which was also part of our core drafting group. And this global initiative would be tasked to strengthen capacity for social dialogue and development of teacher policies, basically provide countries with the assistance that they might need in this respect. Now, another policy lever would be, of course, funding, financing, investing in teachers and education personnel. We have covered two issues in this paper, but other issues are covered in the paper on financing. The first issue which we cover is that we need to make sure that public spending also covers wages, teacher professional development, working and professional conditions. So we need to make sure that this is part of the public responsibility for education. And secondly, we need to be lifting wage constraints on public services and increase strategic revenue collection. It's clear that we need to do more and not more with less, as it has sometimes been said. That leads me to the second global initiative proposal, a global compact on securing education financing, which should describe strategic investment strategies in teacher and educator working conditions together with international financing institutions, but also strategic investment in human-centered digitalization. Now, in terms of the second global initiative that we propose, we think that unless we have the comparative data necessary in order to measure our progress, it's going to be very hard to tailor our commitments and our transformative actions. That is why we propose a global survey on teacher professional and working conditions, as well as teacher and social attitudes, drawing on very good existing work. And second, we propose a strengthening of the global monitoring functions of the ILO UNESCO Committee of Experts on the application of the recommendations concerning teaching personnel. So basically, with all this, we are loyal to the goal of an empowered education